Alrighty, hello everybody and welcome back to the 1K World Cup 2026 edition. We are back with the finals weekend underway, kicking things off with a losers bracket match. It is going to be France versus the Untied States, not to be mixed up with the United States, the Untied States, as they are going to be looking to battle out their in the losers bracket to stay alive for another round here. As always, I am Sunny and I will be commentating alone for this match, but as we sit and just wait for the rolls to commence, I feel like with this match, I mean, both these players both these teams are extremely strong, battling out what they could in the winners bracket fairly well, and then just absolutely tearing through the losers bracket. France, I believe, getting knocked in the, I think, semifinals against Japan, or was it? Yeah, it was semifinals against Japan, and the Untied States getting eliminated, or not eliminated, but knocked pretty early on in round of 16 against the Canadian team. So having a bit of a longer run in this losers bracket, while this, I believe, is the French team's first losers bracket match. And, I mean, both these teams, they have their pretty respective strengths and weaknesses, and I believe for the Untied States, it is going to be focusing a lot more on the physical side of the pool, and it makes sense for reflecting this Rice 3 pick here, as this pool has been kicked up quite a few notches from these semifinals. And I mean, when I say that, I really mean it, as they're gonna opt for probably one of our harder Rice picks in the pool. It's gonna be There Are Many Colors, mapped by Corey. This is a very stream-based map, with, I mean, pretty much the whole gimmick of this being some pretty fast speed, and also with a lot of BPM changes as well thrown into the mix. And that has been one of France's, I would say, more vulnerable points, is when it comes to the more physical side of things. They definitely do have a bit of a struggle with that, but I mean, also with the Untied States as well, we don't really know how this one will pan out, as, like I mentioned, the pool has kicked up a ton of notches. And gonna see Minus and Woey pop in here for the side of the Untied States. Gonna see Stay and Zozoyan, I believe is how you pronounce that. I'm sorry if I butchered it. For the French team here. And usually it makes sense with Zozoyan in there, but I'm surprised Patous did not get the sub in here. Instead, we're going to see Stay, who also is, I would say, a fairly strong player, but I would usually see them most likely in the presence of more LN focused. But anyway, going into this pick, Minus and Woey picking up a bit of accuracy drops on this opening, but nothing really too much coming out of this intro, as you do have to face off against these doublets early on, and then pretty much once it kicks itself into full gear, Stay and Minus going to trade a bit here. Zozoyan as well going to fall. Woey, the only one with a full combo outside of this opening section, and a full reset on the side of France, but Woey trips up on these very fast gallops here, and then these very fast stream transitions, but the bottom row finding some breaks here. Zozoyan and Woey as a little bit of a more elongated stream here. Zozoyan going to be picking up another break as we transition into the next part of this map where it's mainly stream focused now. So definitely a bit of a section where these players can kick up that accuracy, especially with Zozoyan, who's at a low 96 here. But as we implement some more of these doublets in with these streams, Stay managing to have the highest accuracy in the room with a 99.2, beating out both Minus and Wowie at the current moment. It's just Zozoyan had a very rough opening here, but making a very fast recovery, like I said, as this is a very pivotal moment to gain this accuracy up for Zozoyan, and they're doing a valiant effort right now. That's everyone breezing through that stream section. Wowie gonna pick up a break on the transition into the blue section of the map. Stay as well, as these very fast bursts do come raining down. But this is where the map picks up its densest part with these 240 BPM, somewhere around that streams here. But Zozoyan still managing to hold on, as Stay and Wowie did trade, but Minus as well being an absolute gauntlet. If France wants to take this in their favor, they're gonna have to see a monumental collapse, and Minus will find a little bit of a trip up there on the judgments, but Zozoyan will trade that back with a miss. And I mean, just looking at Minus and Wowie almost averaging, or just averaging a 98% in total, while Zozoyan was having a very strong effort to pull back on the lead here. Unfortunately, just a bit of a very, very messy beginning for the French team. For Zozoyan, just had a very rough beginning, and I mean, with the consistency of the Untied States, Minus almost picking up a 99 here. Very impressive scores overall. Stay actually going to be the match MVP here. 98.3 for them. Absolute stellar performance from everyone. It was just not enough time for Zozoyan to catch up with the rest of the group, and this has been a very, very prominent, like, not even just for the players you see on the screen, but for a lot of teams overall. It's just the one player that just has a little bit of just falls behind just a tad bit with the rest of the group, and that has been what has caught a lot of teams, especially as we transition into the later parts of the tournament. And maybe could be since another player not showing up, scheduling issues, or just overall just having players that don't really feel comfortable with that pick. But France going to opt for Hybrid 2 here. So headed for our custom for this round. Our custom song, and it is going to be Hybrid 2, mapped by Jay and Corey. And honestly, I feel like when it comes to the LNs, it is favored a bit more, or at least hybrids in general. I feel that France, I actually don't know how to feel about this one, as Untied States have a really strong hybrid team with Sparky. Like, if you get Sparky and Minus on the board, but I don't think Sparky is here. As when I was sending out the invite, Sparky did not respond. And let me just do another live check. Yeah, she's currently offline, so the Untied States subbing in Wowie here to see if they can fill in that spot for Sparky, and just getting confirmation from one of the Untied States members. Yeah, Sparky is absent for this match, so it looks like it's primarily just going to be Minus and Wowie for the vast majority of these picks. While just looking at what France would usually put in for the hybrid / LNs, it has been primarily, honestly, Stay and Zozoyan are very strong. Also Patus as well, but choosing to opt out for this pick, so it's going to be the same roster as you see in the previous pick. And France is a very, very strong hybrid team, and they're just very strong in LNs overall. This is what they strive the best out of most of their skill sets. And as we head into the first major part with a lot of these bursts and these doublets, the Untied State's going to get a full combo reset here. Minus and Wowie both tripping up on those pretty fast bursts, as this section almost you can play as some Rice with the LN hold, but that'll be a 25,000 point lead in favor of France headed into the first, or headed out of the first third of the map. Stay and Zozoya both holding on with FCs at the moment, but Wowie and Minus making very strong recoveries here. It's just Minus had a huge accuracy blow. They're the only player that's below a 99, and they're just going to continue to find some of these falters on these more faster bursts, but Zozoyan will trade back a miss, but Minus continues to find these accuracy drops, and on back with these bursts and flams, Zozoyan breaks, losing their 99 Wowie as well. And Zozoyan having a really rough time as well here. Now all of a sudden this lead has shrunken down to 4 digits as we head into a break section. As Wowie, it's mainly Wowie versus Stay right now. Stay the only FC left on the board, but Wowie is pulling off the accuracy game. This lead is shrinking even more now with Zozoyan picking up a break, 3,000 points, and shrinking. As headed into our final quarter with these very fast bursts and these LN releases, you cannot mess up here. And Minus, as I say that on cue, picks up a break, but Zozoyan and Minus cancel out each other's misses here. It's just a battle of Stay and Wowie right now, but Minus finding a colossal accuracy. What is happening? This is a very tricky section here, and Minus tripping up on these LNs, almost looking like a column lock almost. As with that 30,000 points all of a sudden in favor of the French now, as a full reset on the side of France. That's not going to bother them as they have a 23,000 point lead to work with, and there is still this ending section to go, but with Minus picking up another break on these flams, it won't matter. As with Zozoyan picking up a pretty big drop there, it won't matter on the side of France, as it was just a bit too late for the Untied States to start picking this lead back, as now France pulling up the equalizer here, as we are now tied at 1, and Wowie had a very stellar performance here. The only 99 in this lobby, and it was just Wowie's score managing to beat out Stay, managing to, even with beating out Stay, it was just Minus having a little bit of a rougher performance to really compete with Wowie here, but then again, it was very dicey near the middle, but unfortunately just that ending really kind of put the dagger in things. But the Untied States going to continue on the hybrid train, gonna opt for, yes, 1K World Cup 2026. This is the name of the song. This is a very interesting pick, going for Acid Mirage, as this map has snaps all over the place. But we're going to see the same roster in for this pick, and this map is very funny, as like the snaps honestly changes a lot. But anyway, heading into Hybrid 3 now. Very short pick, but there is so much chaos. Honestly, the background describes this map pretty well. But here we go. And Stay and Zozoyan having a bit of an early trip up here, but this map hasn't even gotten to its big point yet, so those early breaks won't really matter on the side of France, as it's what happens next is what's really going to be the deal maker, as this map, like I said, very short, just shy of 2 minutes. So what happens next will pretty much determine how this will go. And here we go with these very messed up, just some very tame flams for now, but the snaps do kind of mess up here. And Zozoyan having a very rough time here with these snaps and these flams. Stay as well, minus the only one left on the board here. Wowie does find a break, but Stay trades it back. And back with these very tight flams and releases. France picking up some breaks here, both Stay and Zozoyan, as the Untied States aren't looking to trade back any of these breaks that France are currently dropping on these such tight releases. And this is what I said about the snapping hell, as they are just snapped so close. It's so hard to get those time down to a T, especially on an OG of 8. Now everybody finding some drops here, but France has just bled so much lead into the favor of Untied States. It's honestly like 120,000 points in favor of the Untied States. Will give them back the lead here, as it is now 2-1 for them. As that map is very unforgiving. As Wowie and Minus both pulling off a 97. That is actually insanely impressive for just how messed up that map is to play. But Stay also with a very impressive score, and Zozoyan as well, almost with the S rank. But yeah, that map, absolutely brutal. Now France probably going to stick in this LN department range. I mean, you only have one hybrid, or no, 2 hybrids left to go, and also the LL long note pool as well to try out. I feel like this is where the vast majority of the maps will be picked, is just either these LNs or these hybrids. I don't see a world where maybe France could also test out the Untied States physicality, but that'd be a bit of a, I don't know, bit of a gamble, I'd say, because France is a fairly decent, strong team when it comes to speed.
Just keep rocking.
But yeah, and they're gonna go for LN1. So gonna stick to the LN/hybrids. Gonna pick the first LN map of this match. Actually, gonna go for crossover. A very consistent heavy long note pick. I believe used, if I'm right, Joke 3 finals, I believe. I think I'm right. So yeah, France going to test the consistency of the Untied States here on LN1 as we head into this pick here. And honestly, a very interesting move on the side of France, because mainly the first few picks that, like most of the picks that have been dealt really have, I mean, maybe outside of Hybrid 2, really focused a lot just on sheer physicality. But here we're actually going to see a consistency battle, and just France testing the waters here. And even just a little bit of accuracy game as well that'll come down, as some opening streams won't catch up anyone. And it's just really how well these players' ratios are early on is the score differential here. And the Untied States just having a little bit of a better release game when it comes to France on these LNs. But like I said, a very opening start of the map. There is still tons of map left to go, and a little bit of a timing change there does throw off Minus. They are still in a very solid 99. Same with Wowie. Actually, Wowie having the best accuracy in the lobby by quite a vast margin. It's mainly Minus versus Stay and Wowie versus Zozoyan right now. But as Minus drops below the 99 barrier, Wowie managing to keep this lead within 4,000 points or so, as some of these streams do come down, some of these bursts as well. None of the players planning any form of drops whatsoever. Like I said, this will be a combo game of sort, and also an accuracy battle, but the burst is gonna catch up Stay, but their accuracy is so well. Is that enough to swing it into the Untied States' favor? I think you're just gonna need a bit more than that break. It was very clean, but it might be enough to swing the lead over to the Untied States by just a couple hundred points. Minus is going to need to up that accuracy, or even just keep the combo in their favor. But if there's enough map for Stay to cross the 400 combo barrier, now Zazorian gonna pick up a couple 200s on that transition and on some of these LNs here. It's almost 10,000 points in favor of the Untied States. Something monumental is gonna have to happen if this lead wants to go back to France. It can, but as this map ends, both players on the Untied States keeping their full combos, pulling the rug at the pulling the rug when they have the opportunity, and going to take the first break point of this match here, as it was a slider break from Stay that made all the difference. A full combo on the side of Untied States. Unfortunately, everyone actually getting a no miss was very, very impressive performance there, but unfortunately that one combo, or the one combo break on the side of Stay, unfortunately gave that lead over to Untied States, and they ran away with it. And Wowie with the 990k as well. Absolutely stellar performance, almost a sub 200, 300 count as well. That is scary from them. As it is the Untied States' turn to pick here. And now, having a little bit of intel on how France plays on some of these less dense picks, and it comes more to the consistency. What will they go for? They could also head into right back into the technicality of range, hybrid 1 possibly. And LM3 going to be the pick here, so gonna stick to the LMs, gonna stick with their guns here, and going to... Ooh. You know, this is going to be a very interesting one. I think... You know, I'm just going to let it play out. I'm not even going to bother giving my 2 cents on how I think about this. I'm just going to let it ride. Yeah, only one Rice map has been picked, and that was the Frum's pick, Rice 3. And it was a win for Untied States, but that was a pretty physical Rice pick, so maybe if... Oh! Zazorian having a really rough beginning on that opening burst, as they are below an S rank at the current moment, but this is also another very short map. And I mean, with how this map plays out, such fast flams and bursts, everyone breaking here, Minus having a pretty tough accuracy drop, but I mean, with that Wowie managing to recover that combo back, same with Minus, as France continues to find these combo breaks. Zazorian not having a good time on this whatsoever, and Stay managing to keep a 97 still. That's actually insanely good. Wowie with a 98, Minus with a 96, Zazorian just having a really rough time with those very fast flams and bursts down at that 93 margin, but you do get a bit of a break. 90,000 points in favor of the Untied States, but these patterns do return. So, I mean, there is always an opportunity. You never say never, especially in 1 key. But it's not as severe as before. You mainly just have to deal with these gallops and these releases. And then these flams get thrown in, but Zozoid having a really good recovery in that break section and managing this section a lot better than previously. But even with having a couple breaks here, that won't matter as we are right back in with the Flam Stay and Zozoid both dropping. It's been Woey manning the floor with that combo. Is that an FC from Woey? I just realized. I think that is. Yeah, that is a full combo from Woey, just absolutely tearing this map apart. And Untied states, with just that sheer consistency of both these players just absolutely pulling off crazy scores here. They're up 4-1 now. And France now maybe going to need to remap things out here as they're going to go for SV. As this is the one thing I forgot to mention. France is a very solid SV team. They practice SV. Coming from someone who totally has not had experience with playing against France in this tournament. But going into Hypersurface, this is a very interesting gimmick that Iron put on display for this map. And it's honestly a very clever gimmick that hopefully these players have noted down and studied, as Minus is praying to Ethfan to enter their spirit here. I'm very interested to see how this one will go out. Oh no, okay, I'm wrong about the FC. Woey did not full combo. They dropped three misses. That was my bad. I was so caught away from the SV getting thrown, and I didn't even bother to check. But this map, I will give the benefit of the doubt. It is a lot easier to read than the semifinals SV. But it's mainly just the gimmick that overshadows how you can read this map. And Zozoid having a bit of a... hitting a bit late on that burst. And with this gimmick, if I remember correctly, you have to hit the notes twice. If I'm correct. Yep. I'm correct about the gimmick, and everyone flawlessly with this gimmick, although my goodness, my speech impediment. Zozoid and Minus having a bit of a struggle there. Minus dropping now below an S, and actually I didn't even realize this, but Patuz is subbing in for this pick, and they are one of the most notorious SV players for the side of France, but they pick up a ginormous break down at the 92 range, and I think either Patuz just misread that entire section, or just didn't get enough practice in, but it's mainly Patuz versus Minus at the current moment, while Woey and Zozoid are fighting it out, but Minus absolutely Woey really did their homework on this map. A 99.6 at the current moment. As we are headed into the final quarter of the map, the Untied states with a 30,000 point lead at the current moment, as Patuz is beating out Minus in that accuracy game right now, but Patuz finds a break. Woey
unfortunately falling from grace on their FC. They're still doing insanely well, and as more of these more of this kind of like having a hit twice gimmick rains down, the map nearing its end, as a very stellar performance from everyone, as it just came down to Zozoid and Woey just absolutely ripping this map to shreds. As the Untied states picking up a crucial breakpoint here, as they are now at a match point situation with their pick of the litter. As insane scores from everyone. And I will die on this hill saying it is way easier to read than the semifinals SV.
I will die on this hill with that. Harder to learn? Yes. But with what the semifinals SV was, oh dear lord, actually impossible to read. Alright, but with the Untied States potentially looking to close things out here, what are they opting for hybrid 1? I was just about to say exhaust one of the, oh no, there's 4 hybrids, so even then. So you still have hybrid 4 up for grabs, and LN2 as well, but they're going to opt for hybrid 1 here. A very awkward, a more awkward tech hybrid, but a lot easier to manage than some other hybrids that we've seen. And the France team really just expressing their distaste for this map. But the Untied States looking to close things out and punch their ticket into the conditional match happening either sometime tomorrow, methinks, or later on today. I have no idea. But anyway, enough with that. Let's just get into this pick here. While France looking to keep themselves in this and taking a breakpoint of their own to stay alive in this tournament, as I mean both these countries absolutely showing what they're made of, especially in this set here. But Zozoyan going to find a very rough opening here, as those very fast bursts are nothing to scoff at, and Stay as well finding a break. Same with Minus. It's Wowie yet again holding the floor down for the Untied States at the current moment, while Stay and Zozoid just really finding these more technical bursts, just very uncomfortable to nail down to a T here, while Minus managing to keep some combo above the 100s, while Wowie just absolutely making a fool out of this map. Just honestly, Wowie is I can't really speak much about Wowie. They're just absolutely ripping this map to shreds, but it's just there's so many awkward points in this map. Zozoyan managed to have the combo a bit down, but it's just their accuracy really struggling here, while Minus Stay is managing to almost cancel out Minus in the accuracy range here. 97.7 to almost a... And there's a break from Minus that will give Stay that AC advantage, but I mean, Wowie's still in the 99 range, especially with just how messed up this map is when it comes to the technical side of things. The fact that the accuracy is this strong on the side of Wowie, and even with the break, they're still managing to keep things down, as this map kind of kicks it up a couple notches at the end. But even with that, with the breaks from everyone here, it's not going to matter, as the Untied States is going to come out unscathed in this pick and will win this match 6-1, unfortunately eliminating France from the tournament, as France had an absolutely incredible run through this tournament. I do not know if this is their first time making the finals, or they made it... I think this is actually their first time making the finals. Yeah, I believe so. Just let me do my homework. Yes, it is. So France adding a page into the history books for them. This is their first time reaching the finals. So congratulations to them, but congratulations to the Untied States for punching their ticket into their conditional match. I believe also cementing themselves into the top 4, I believe, if I'm correct. Yeah, they have officially punched a ticket into the top 4, and the team that they will be waiting on is either the United States or Porch of Geese, which is actually happening in just a little under an hour, so we will find out who the Untied States will be fighting. Will it be their bigger brother, the United States, or will it be the Porch of Geese? Find out in just a little under an hour. I've been Sunday commentating this match, and we will see you all later. Goodbye, everyone.